In today's Take a Day, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and why you should be concerned if you're a Lakers fan. Before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell just so you get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. You could say a lot of things about the Lakers right now. You could say they're a team that's not ascending. You could say they're a team that's not living up to expectation. You could say they're a team that's not playing the way they should. You could say they're a team that has a lot of star caliber type players on there. You could say they're a team that has multiple Hall of Famers, potential Hall of Famers in the future on there currently. But one thing you can't say about the Lakers right now, you can't say you're seeing any consistency. And when I say that, you can't say that you're seeing any consistency in the win column in regards to how they play, how they come out, how their lineups are in certain points of the game, the coaching, and like I said, when they play good competition or mediocre to bad competition, you don't see any consistency in anything that they're doing unless you want to sit there and be technical and say only thing consistently you see in them is how bad they're playing. So I guess you can say that if you want to, but otherwise you don't see any consistency. And that's just something that is a huge concern for the Lakers going forward. But there is bigger concerns. And when you look at this team, it's not all on Russell Westbrook. I mean, most of it is going to be pinned on him because of the way he plays and how he plays so fast and so reckless and has so many turnovers in the process. It definitely can't help the Lakers' future in regards to winning a championship. And that's the reason why you have players, superstars on the team like Anthony Davis saying that we suck. We're not nowhere near a championship caliber type team. And right now, Anthony Davis is 110% correct, because when you look at the Lakers, they don't really have anything that scares any other teams. They have size. They have players with a name, with a title, who's been superstars in the league. They got players on there who's won championships and all that. But what they don't have is camaraderie, and that's going to take a while to either build that, or the train is going to stop with the Lakers before they ever get a chance to put it all together, because they can't have a losing season with all this talent. It's just no way. Laker Nation is just not going to be for it. And when I say that, Laker Nation is heavy when it comes to, they are predicated on winning championships. They're not predicated on just making it to the playoffs and that's it. The Lakers organization never looked at that as being a good enough type of season for them, because they've always been a winning organization. So the ways and the way they play right now just doesn't remind you of how the Lakers showtime should be. I mean, honestly, God rest Kobe's soul, but I don't think he ever wanted to see the Lakers look like this. I mean, the Lakers can't, look like this, after his passing of the torch, and now that he's not here, it would really be a shame if Kobe was here looking at the Lakers play the way they're playing. Honestly, if Kobe was alive, he probably would think about coming back to the Lakers, because I know he would hate to see them playing like this. And, when you see this team, they got a lot of good pieces. Don't get me wrong. Honestly, a lot of their pieces gel really well. But the biggest piece, of course, that doesn't gel is Russell Westbrook and how he turns everybody's game off rather than help their game elevate and turn it on. He's just not that type player. He doesn't, gather the troops around him and play as a leader and by example or by voice or in the locker room. He's just not that type of guy. I mean, people just don't take to him that way, because he's all about himself and his stats. But honestly, to get really into the thick of things, the biggest concern for the Lakers has to be one thing only. It's not really Russell Westbrook at this point. At this point, it's LeBron James. The last couple of years, LeBron James has been dealing with knick-knack injuries. They haven't been major. They haven't been ACL tears or, back-breaking, type injuries or anything like that. But they've been injuries for the most part, and they've held LeBron out of games for a couple weeks, several weeks at a time. Now, this injury he has now, I mean, it was listed at first for him to be out a month or 2 months. Now, they were speaking in regards to him trying to come back, on Friday in tonight's game. And, honestly, they might be rushing him back too soon. And honestly, he might feel the sense of urgency to come back too soon, because the team is like 8-8. They're playing 500 basketball with all that talent on there. And they still got two superstars on there. Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis definitely should be good enough to hold down the fort until LeBron James comes back. You have two superstars on the team, and one of them is a triple-double machine, and the other one can get you 30 and 10 every night if he really chose to. So it's like, what's the problem? But I mean, in regards to that situation, I could tell you what the problem is. Anthony Davis just really isn't aggressive enough. He wants to shoot jumpers. He wants to be a Kevin Durant instead of being Anthony Davis. He wants to be KD instead of AD. He wants to shoot and show everybody he's this great shooter, that he's been working on his jumper even more in the offseason. And it really doesn't matter because it doesn't equate to winning. And you're losing games against teams you're supposed to be beating when you clearly have the better team. Honestly, like I said, like you hear them say, Anthony Davis is a top 5 talent, but he, in all essence, the more and more I look at him, he's not a top 5 player. He's a top 10 player because he doesn't have that dog in him that's going to make his talent, his top 5 talent, elevate to another level. And he only plays that way when LeBron is there, because LeBron helps bring that top 5 game out of Anthony Davis. And that's just the honest truth. Without LeBron there, he looks like a top 10, top 15 player in the league. Sometime maybe top 20 the way he plays. There's no way in hell the other night against the Bucks, Giannis should score 47 points and you only have 19 points and like 15 rebounds. And you and Russell Westbrook combined have 37 points and Giannis got 47 by himself. He beat y'all by 10 points on his own. And that's unacceptable when you have two superstars on a team, when Giannis didn't even have he had a Chris Middleton who came off COVID, I think, who didn't even play well. And he has a Drew Holiday who's banged up and not even playing even close to his potential. It's no way the Lakers should have lost that game. And it's no way that Anthony Davis should be playing that less aggressive. But see, that's the problem. Without LeBron holding the spoon to their mouth and feeding them, they don't know what to do and they look like trash. And that's just really a shame, because it shouldn't take somebody who's been playing the league 20 years to hold your water for you so you can drink it. It just doesn't make any sense. You have to be able to hold your own. And honestly, I'm not sure how much LeBron can fix this team or how much he even really wants to, because honestly, him being injured these last couple seasons with little knick-knack injuries, they add up for a player who's older. They don't, even if LeBron James was 10 years younger, we wouldn't even be talking about this, because he was Iron Man back then. He didn't even miss games. He never got hurt. But now you're starting to see him break down more and more and get hurt more and more. And it's becoming more of a steady theme with him because, like I said, he's aging and you have to acknowledge that. And I just think that, if he's going to try to help this team, win a championship, I mean, it's going to be tough because Russell Westbrook really isn't a fit. And honestly, if they let Russell Westbrook go, honestly, the team would probably be a whole lot better, because they got Rondo as the backup. Avery Bradley can handle the ball. Taylor Horton-Tucker can handle the ball coming up, bringing the ball up the court. You see what I'm talking about? So it's like, honestly, it's just so much confusion and so much not so much good things going around the Lakers right now. It's just a setup for disaster unless LeBron James comes back fully healthy and can stay healthy throughout the season and can stay healthy enough through the playoffs and help push this team to another level. But you're asking a whole lot of a player who's been playing that long and who has that many miles on his body, of going to 9 straight finals, and asking him to do the same thing over again with a team that has 2 other superstars on there who are losing to teams that they clearly should be beating, and who can't even hold it down long enough so he can get 100% healthy and feel comfortable when he comes back. You're basically going to drive LeBron to come back even quicker, because he's not going to want to see, the Lakers have a losing record, play under 500 basketball. He's going to do everything in his power to come back to keep everything afloat. But that's the problem. If he comes back too early, how do you know that's not going to hinder him down the stretch in the season when you really need him to be healthy 100% going into the playoffs? It could be another situation where they lose in the first round again. It's very possible. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy to save his life. I mean, I don't know if he needs to drink more milk or not, but whatever he's using or drinking or not eating or not doing, it's not working. And it hasn't been working pretty much predominantly his whole career. He's always been injury prone and he's always been this top 5 talent. But like I said, your best ability is availability. And if you're not healthy enough to help, I don't give a damn how good your talent is. We can't see it on the floor because you're not available. Then it doesn't matter. It only matters what product you put out on the floor. And if Anthony Davis would be more aggressive and more hungry playing basketball when LeBron's not on the floor, rather than only when he is on the floor to help him play that way, we'd be talking about a whole different thing with him specifically. But like I said, the biggest concern with the Lakers overall is really LeBron James. It depends on his health. We all know that. But his health is really not getting any better. It seems like it's getting worse. It seems like he's getting injured more now. And it's like fans are getting more used to him getting injured, or like, oh, LeBron's going to be out 3, 4, 5 games because of an ankle or arm, a wrist or something like that. It's starting to become trending now as far as like, it's starting to happen a lot. And see, this is something that the Lakers can't afford, him getting injured, because they definitely can't count on the other 2 superstars, because as you see, they're losing against teams they should beat, and they have enough firepower on that team to beat a lot of teams, but they're just not doing it. And honestly, it's making the Lakers look very desperate to bring LeBron James back, because like I said, at first, if he was supposed to be out a month or 2 months, give or take, somewhere in there, well, this team should be good enough to let him stay out 1 or 2 months and get 100% healthy so he can come back and be himself fully, so they can keep everything going. But the way this team is playing, they're playing so up and down basketball, it's going to make LeBron and the organization push him to come back quicker so they can stay afloat, so they can be the best, so they could be looked at as the best team in LA rather than the Clippers. So, I mean, a lot is going on right now. The Staples Center name is changing by Christmas, I believe, the Crypto Arena, which is trash. But at the same time, like I said, the Lakers got bigger worries. And their biggest fish, their biggest worry is LeBron, and we're just gonna have to see how he fares. And if him coming back early is good for them, great. But if he gets injured again after coming back early just to try to keep them afloat, this Titanic is going to sink very fast. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And hey, Cali out.